Kuro Games just released news on their latest set of quality of life updates, and it's safe to say that they're absolutely amazing. Things like echo presets between characters, a portable synthesizer for crafting materials, and echo display of stats and Sonata on drop. These are all features that have been highly requested by the player base, and they all work towards one simple goal: make Wuthering Waves a more enjoyable game. When the Kuro devs, Dong and Awen, told us during the 1.3 reveal livestream that they've been listening to our feedback and that they want more, they weren't lying. Every single time these developers open their mouths or type on their keyboard, they're telling the truth. They genuinely want to make the game better. Looking at the track record of Kuro Games across the lifetime of Wuthering Waves, it's been nothing but clear communication, complete transparency, and fulfilled promises to the player base. Even when faced with the harshest critiques, they make it better. It's the complete polar opposite from what we've seen from games like Genshin Impact. After we all saw Dawei cry live on stage, lamenting the state of his game, many expected Genshin Impact to genuinely get better. When the Genshin community saw the version 5.0 teasers, there was a lot of excitement for all of the new features getting added to the game. Things like a custom artifact selector, new exploration mechanics, and summonable pets. The problem, however, was that the integration of all these new mechanics was a complete joke, with many restrictions and unnecessary FOMO-fueled strings attached. And players didn't find out about any of these problems until the version was live. Ask yourself, why did Hoyoverse hide so many details about the update that was worth the CEO himself crying over? There's a reason why a majority of Kuro's 1.3 livestream was dedicated to quality of life updates and improvements to the game. They were proud of their work and wanted to show it off in depth, and they had full confidence that their implementation would be well received by the player base. That's what happens when you listen with the full intent of making real changes, with no ulterior motives. And once you understand this, you can see the reason why Hoyoverse consistently does the opposite when it comes to the reveal of their, improvements to the game. Today, we'll be diving into why this is the case, breaking down the stellar track record of Kuro Games over the past 4 months, how and why it differs so much from the embarrassing behavior we've seen from Hoyoverse as they've entered Natlan, and how this dynamic impacted and will continue to impact the Gacha community as a whole. Ignoring player feedback is bad, but claiming you listen to feedback while doing less than the bare minimum in your integration, that's worse. That's an insult to your players. As always, if you're enjoying this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. Genshin Impact players have had it pretty rough for the past few months. With the emotional or completely planned outbursts from Dawei across the pre-launch of Natlan, many players were convinced that version 5.0 was going to change the game completely. They saw previews of convenient new exploration mechanics, exciting integrations of pets, and even a customized artifact selector. It genuinely seemed like Hoyoverse wanted to make Genshin a better game. Unfortunately, all of these features were either complete fluff or so poorly integrated that their implementation was an actual insult to the player base. Exploration mechanics locked to a single region out of the 6 on the map. Pets that are only used to solve exploration puzzles in that one region. A custom artifact every few months that still has the potential to roll like absolute doo-doo water. There's a reason why Hoyoverse didn't go into an in-depth explanation of these new features, because they knew their player base would not be happy with it. The question is, why develop new features that players are not going to like in the first place? Kuro Games, on the other hand, has never pulled their punches when it comes to the details with their updates. Whenever these developers announce a quality of life update, a new exploration mechanic, or an optimization to the game, it's completely clear to the players what they're doing. When players complained about no echo experience or tuners, they cited that complaint in their developer notes and subsequently added a boatload of these resources to every future event in the game. When players got a free Shangli Yao, a limited 5-star, and complained about the lack of character leveling materials, Kuro again cited this complaint in their developer notes and announced multiple new events in version 1.3 specifically targeted to these resources. And when players complained about the clunkiness of swapping overworld characters to complete aiming challenges, again, the developers cited the complaint and then gave full details and a short preview of the new hover droid Gacha gadget that directly solve this problem. There's a reason why Kuro is so vocal about all of these new additions to the game. They know they'll be well received because these critiques are coming directly from the people who play their game. And that's why Kuro dedicated a significant portion of their livestream to simply beg their players for more feedback. Could you even dream of a response like this from the Genshin devs? When you look at Kuro's impeccable track record of transparency and listening, you can't help but look back on version 5.0 and all of its new features with anything other than disgust. Why create so much anticipation and hype across the player base by revealing highly requested additions like the custom artifact selector, but omit the fact that it's time-gated by a huge fraction of the calendar year? Why hide the fact that only Natlan characters can actively engage with the new exploration mechanics, as well as the fact that these mechanics are obscenely nerfed outside of Natlan? Why hide the fact that all of these new pets are mainly for puzzles and minigames, and not a meaningful addition to combat? The harsh reality of these improvements is that Hoyoverse has been receiving and ignoring them for years, and now that Wuthering Waves is released and has demonstrated they have devs who actually care about the players, now all of these features are suddenly getting added to the game, but they all come with massive strings attached. Hoyoverse, from what we've seen in version 5.0, has a strategy focused around keeping information away from their players. They'll bring their community in with a juicy hook, claiming they've been listening to feedback, and then do a complete bait and switch by implementing that feedback in some of the worst ways possible, with a lot of it locked behind a credit card. When you look at all of these tactics from Hoyoverse, it's clear what their intent is. They're trying to make as much money as possible from their players, and they're using the bait of new quality of life features and the disguise of listening to make it happen. That's why the new exploration mechanics might as well not exist if you don't pull on Natlan banners. That's why the artifact selector is obscenely time-gated with a nice little shortcut if you purchase the paid battle pass. That's why it took nearly 4 years for their weapon banner to have its pity reduced from infinite to 160. This company is greedy, and they won't shy away from basically lying through omission in their version updates and probably lying about their actual intent with these changes to get their bag. When you compare this mindset to that of Kuro Games, it couldn't be any more different. The words of Solon, Kuro CEO, ring louder now than ever before. Love your game, love your players, and love your team. As long as you survive, that's enough, right? You can see these heartfelt words in play across every update Kuro has made to Wuthering Waves. You can tell these developers actually play their game and want to enjoy it as well. Hopefully, we can see this kind of transparent, receptive behavior continue to spread across mainstream gacha developers. Genshin, like we've clearly seen, is making updates to fix their game, pressured by the competition of Wuthering Waves. They just need to take the lies, deception, and obviously clear ulterior motives out of it and actually start respecting their players. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. Peace out.